get this thing going. Okie dokie. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the Watch Market Update Show. Um, Guys, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel, right? Don't forget to do that for us. As you know, we are 100% organic. We do not buy subscribers. We do not buy likes. We do not buy, comments. You understand? We don't do none of the above. So we need your help by subscribing, liking, sharing, all that good stuff. It'll help us out in the algorithm. It'll help us out, right, guys? Um, Guys, I want to tell all of you that gold has, gone up a little bit. It's at $3,353 an ounce, right? So just in case you guys are following gold, as I am following gold, it's climbing up, right, guys? So, just to let you guys know about the gold prices. Um, I also want to talk to you guys today about a subject, that I talked about this, I believe, like last year. I did a video on this subject. How many of you out there seriously would buy a Ferrari, a Porsche, a Lamborghini, Aston Martin, you know, without, ownership, title, without title of the cars, How many of you would buy that type of car without any kind of title of ownership? Honestly, tell me how of you would buy a car without any title. I guess not many of you would do that. You wouldn't buy a car without a title. One of those $400,000 cars. 300,000, 200,000. You wouldn't buy without no paperwork, right? As you guys probably do know, the ones that've been here for a while know that I am very, very against buying watches that are naked, without no guarantee car, certificate, without none of the above. I don't, people tell me that they bought a luxury time machine, like an example, let's say an AP without no paperwork and naked, and I just, you're asking for trouble, you know, you're asking for trouble. And we're going to be talking about today, lost and stolen goods. I'm going to give you today something that you guys have been asking me. It's been more than a year, to be honest. I did it like a year and a half ago. I'm going to give you information on how to find out if a watch, if your watch got lost, it got stolen. It's a database, and I'm going to give you names and all that, so you can have this. This is more information for you guys. This is like chapter 9 on how to become, a Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market dealer. I'm giving it to you for free. I'm going to show you all this. So when I finish, doing what I'm doing in this channel, you have a library. You can go back and find out these things, because these people are never going to give you the information that I'm going to give you. The ones that you guys, have a platonic love with, they're never going to give you this information, but I will, because I am like that. I am that kind of a human being. I'm like that. I was once told by Paco Gambino, don't leave this world without telling people what you know, your knowledge. So I'm going to be doing that today. I'm going to give you all those names of those different databases. But before I get into that, I'm going to tell you a story. So one day you are in the swimming pool, in a nice swimming pool, on the beach, laying down, lounging, and you're there with your wife, your children, you're on vacation, the summertime. And, you take off your watch and you put it in your wife's handbag, Listen and learn, guys. I like when I have 9 people, because I know that these 9 people are listening for real. So you put your watch, your beautiful watch, you take it off and you put it in your wife's handbag. You leave it there and you go swimming and all that, blah, 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 blah. And suddenly, before the day is over of having fun, playing with the beach ball, getting a nice suntan, piña colada, margarita, mojito, your wife's handbag is stolen. And your watch was in there. Your Patek Philippe Nautilus was in her handbag. So the watch is stolen. So this is a Sunday. Sunday, summertime. Your watch is stolen. Nothing you can do about it. You're going crazy, blah, blah, blah. You call the hotel security, blah, 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 put the cameras on. Hey, the watch is gone. So Monday comes, and the gentleman that stole the watch wants to cash in his goods. So, he goes to, one of those, watch dealers in LA, in California, over there, on that side of town. And he goes to see one of those greasy, watch dealers. And he takes his goods over there. He takes his Patek, beautiful Patek Philippe, leather strap, 5980 rose gold. He takes it over there and he shows it to the Mashugana, to the Mashugana, to the greasy, backpack dealer, let's call him that. He takes the watch over there and he shows it to the guy, to the buyer. And he says, I want to sell my watch. Oh, really? You want to say, yeah, I'm going through some hard times and I need to sell it. And he says, so you have, is it a full set? You have everything at home? He says, no, I only have the watch. I only have the watch. So again, I'm telling you, buying a naked watch, you're just asking for trouble, So the gentleman is going to buy the watch, tells him, let me check the database on this watch, before I make you an offer. Remember, the watch was stolen on the Sunday, and today, that is Monday, So, he checks it before he makes an offer. He checks it, and the watch come back kosher. There's no report on the watch. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's no report that the watch has been, registered, that the watch is stolen, lost. None of that. So the greasy dealer already knows that the watch is good. He doesn't ask too many questions. He just says he found out. He has all the paperwork now. He does the print. The watch is good. How much do you want for the watch? And the guy says, I want this much for the watch. I know the watch is a hype watch, and it's over retail. So, yeah, but, you don't have no paperwork, no certificate, no guarantee. You don't have the Patek Philippe box, all the booklets and all that good stuff. And the guy, he's just, the guy that stole the watch is trying to get rid of this watch. He's trying to cash in. And the greasy watch dealer also wants to cash in too. So they go back and forth for the price, and he offers the seller $50,000 for the watch. $50,000 for a beautiful Patek Philippe Nautilus with a leather strap. And they go back and forth, and the thief agrees, and the guy pays him the $50,000. $50,000. He takes the money, doesn't ask for no license, no information, no question. These people, this is the way they operate. If you don't know that, today you're gonna know it. It's a very shady world. The thief and the buyer. He buys it. So now the thief leaves with his money. He hit a grand slam. Boom, cashed in. So now the dealer is gonna call. These people work in buildings. There's a bunch of stores inside. So he's the wholesaler, and the wholesaler calls the retailer, and he says, "Look, I just came into this new watch, blah 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 blah. I have a 5980 rose gold leather strap, blah 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 blah." The guy had a box. He had a Patek Philippe wooden box. I have the box, but I don't have, no guarantee, no paperwork. But I have the booklets, because the guy, these people always have everything. In the corner they have the box, the booklets, and all that good stuff. Listen to me, guys. If you want to listen, you're gonna learn today if you listen. So the greasy, this oily, dealer, he tries to do a full set on this Patek that he just bought, and he's gonna hit a home run himself. So he goes, bam, 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 he prepares the whole thing, and he takes it to a retailer, has a window and everything. He sells diamonds, watches, and all that good stuff. Shows him the watch, and he goes, "Wow, it's a very nice watch. It's in good condition." "Yeah, it's in good condition." He says, "I want so much." And the guy looked at him, he wanted $65,000 for the watch, from one end to the other. And the guy, it's a good price, but it doesn't have no guarantee, blah, 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 blah. Well, to make the long story short, they come in an agreement, and he pays them the $65,000, So the thief made his cut, the greasy watch dealer makes his cut, and now the retailer is gonna put that watch in the window. So the retailer is going to put now that Patek in the window. And he's going to ask for that watch, just an example, $80,000 for the watch, right? Puts it in the window. So he wants to also make another home run himself too, this retailer. And the watch is there. The watch is in the window, and people are going by the stores, looking around. And one day, this gentleman is going by because he's looking for his watch, the one that got stolen, from his wife's handbag. He's really annoyed. He's disgusted, and he's looking for his watch. This is how it is, ladies and gentlemen. For your information, this is how it is. I'm giving you an actual story. It's like 99.9% accurate, right? For you lambones, lambones y palomos. So he puts it in the window, and the man that's looking for his watch, he sees exactly his Patek, Patek, one with rose gold, 5980, leather bracelet, and he's looking at the window and he's looking at it. And he walked around the whole building, looking for watches, and he saw that one. And he walks into the store and, inside a showroom, and he says, "May I see that watch?" And I've told you many times already. I've told you many, many times that hairlines, scratches, nicks, dings, ding dongs are like fingerprints on a watch. Fingerprints. And the one that knows them all, is the owner of the watch. I know everything this watch has. Whatever defect it has, I know. Not the retailer, not the greasy backpacker, not the thief, me. The guy gets the watch in his hand, he looks at it, puts it on, and fit him like a glove. Como anillo al dedo, like ring to the finger. It fit him perfect, and he's looking at it, looks at the buckle, the casing, and he wanted to scream right there because that was his watch. So he runs and he speaks to the detective that's running the case already, running the case. And he says, "Mr. Detective, you don't have to do too much leg walking. I did it for you already. I found my watch. It's in Los Angeles in such and such building, blah, 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 blah." So now the detectives, they run over there with their baseball caps on, and they tell that Mashugana, the one in the one that has the retail store with the jewelry, watches, and stones, and all that good stuff. They say, "Let me see that watch again." So the jeweler shows it to him, and he said, "We're going to confiscate this watch. This watch has been reported stolen." Reported stolen. Are you writing down all this stuff so you get smarter? This is why you don't mess around with naked watches. It's just trouble. So the owner of the store, the shop, he says, "Well, no, if you guys are the law and the watch is stolen, is reported, here it is. Here's the watch." He returns the watch back. I told you already, and I'm going to repeat it one more time. Don't ever forget this. This is a lesson on chapter 9, how to become a watch dealer. I'm giving it to you for free, how to become one. Hairlines, scratches, nicks, dongs, they're like fingerprints in a watch. And the only one that knows all those fingerprints is you. That's right, you. So they take the watch, bum, 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 bum. They told the greasy retailer, So where did you get the watch from? He's freaking out already, freaking out. He doesn't want to get arrested. He doesn't want to get arrested. You don't want to know if that watch, the guy that sold the watch, maybe he did a bad crime to somebody, He knocked somebody out. They took the watch away from him. You don't know what happened. Maybe somebody deceased. Something happened. You know what I'm trying to say. Help me out, please. I don't like to use those scary words. So maybe you guys can help me out, So the guy's freaking out, the retailer, he doesn't know where did this watch came. If, they beat somebody up in a bar, in a club, and, somewhere, in another country, they don't know what, So the guy gives up the watch, and now the detectives tell the retailer, "Who sold you the watch?" No, I bought the watch. I have a receipt. Lucky for this, Mashugana, for this Lambong, this retailer, he had a receipt from the other guy, from the other guy upstairs, He had everything. So he was kosher. He says, well, there's no problem. Let me have his phone number. Let me have, yeah, sure, sure. The guy panicking. He gives up everything. Thank you very much for that super chat, Alberto. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. So, yeah, there you go. An accomplice to the crime. All this stuff. He's freaking out, Exactly, Mr. D. Exactly. So bang, gives him the watch, and he was talking like a parrot, the retailer, from the store. He was talking like a parrot. They had to slap him in the mouth. Shut up already, you're talking too much already. So they tell him, the guy's over there, and the 7th floor, he's over there. This is his name. Exactly, singing like a bird, man. Like a Baltimore Oriole, like a Cardinal, like a Blue Jay, like Woody Woodpecker. Unbelievable, like Heckle and Jekyll. He was running his mouth, and I had to slap him, shut up. And he just kept on, because he didn't want to get in trouble, the retailer, So he gave him the name, the last name, he would give him his birth certificate. He gave him everything, And the detective said, don't worry about it. You've done a great job for us. Thank you very much. Give me the watch. We got it now. So now the detectives call the slime ball. They call the slime ball. And they tell them, we're such and such, we're the detectives from such and such county, whatever. We're calling you because the watch you sold the Moshigana in the 1st floor is stolen. He said, oh my God. That one now, oh my God, what do you mean? Yeah, it's stolen. So remember what I'm telling you, because in these cases, you have, armed robbery, hard armed robbery, tú vas con la cabeza, bam, hey, give me that. You understand what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to make it for you dramatic so you understand what I'm trying to say. And, so these people, right away, what you're thinking is the worst. You think, oh my God, they must have, somebody must have lost their life. And the guy's freaking out. What happened, Mr. Detective? No, this watch was reported stolen. But, so he's already freaking out. What happened? Because he wants to know, there's something more, Stolen is one thing and it's another thing, Two different things, So they say, you bought the watch from this person, and, he says he has a receipt, so we don't want no problems. We don't want to pick you up. We want you to do the right thing, and you're going to go and pay back the money, to the guy in the 1st floor, the 50 G's, whatever it was. I don't know. This is all an example. No, it's not an example. It's for real. It's an example. It's an example, boys. Don't get carried away. So you go and you pay that guy in the 1st floor. You pay him his money. You pay him his money, and then we're gonna come and talk to you regarding this subject. So the guy's freaking out. The guy in the 1st floor is calling the guy in the 4th floor. I don't know what floor, 7th floor. He's calling him up, and the 7th floor is calling him. And now he's saying, hey, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What happened with that watch? Did somebody pass away or something with that watch? I don't want no problem. These people become chicken, gallinas. They become, pendejo. They become, they're so, so slimy and so greasy. And now they become like, I didn't do it. You didn't do it. You tell on me, I'll tell on you, I'll point the finger, bam, 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 bam. So this guy from the 7th floor runs downstairs, says, no, you got to give me my money back because I'm going to tell them everything, blah, 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 blah. So this guy in the 7th floor, don't worry about it. I'm going to go to the bank right now. I'm going to make you a cashier's check because they're freaking out. Because the detectives are not going to come and see the guy from the 7th floor, This is an unbelievable story. This is for you guys to learn about naked watches. So the guy goes, boom, and he takes him the cashier's check and he pays the guy in the 1st floor. He closed that over there because the detectives already said that the guy from the 1st floor, he's fine. He doesn't have no problem. He just bought a watch. He has paperwork, receipt. He's good. Now it's the guy in the 7th floor. So now they call him up and they say, you did the right thing. You went to pay that Mashugana in the 1st floor. That's good. You are showing a man of honor, Good. We want to know now is who is the person that you bought that watch from. And the guy's freaking out because he's freaking out. He wants to know in his mind what he wants to know if somebody, passed away, in that event. Hey, Damon, help me out with the words. Please, Damon, don't leave me alone. You're part of the show. So he's freaking out. But, the detectives are making him more, giving him more anxiety and tension and stress, because they don't tell him nothing. And the guy's about to give him, the guy from the 7th floor is about to give him whatever they want. They give him all his watches, whatever. Just get me out of this trouble, And the guy says, the slimy dealer, from the 7th floor says, but Mr. Detective, I don't have no information. What I do have, I have a database of lost and stolen, and I called it in, I punched it in the computer, and it came back that this watch was clean. The serial number, not the reference number, the serial number. It comes back. It's clean. So that slime ball, for having that information, exactly, you need to put on your eyeglasses to see well. If you don't put on your eyeglasses, you can't see nothing in life. Life will pass right by you and you didn't see nothing. Those are Paco Gambino's words. He says, Juan, you need to put on your eyeglasses to see everything because life will pass right by you. And that Mashugana from the 7th floor, luckily he had the lost and stolen database. And that saved his rear end. He says, I didn't ask him. You didn't ask him for no license, no passport. I didn't ask him for nothing. You don't have no cameras. My camera, the old story, it's kind of broken. I haven't, put a new one, the old sketch, the old slimy sketch from these greasy, dealers, So, they had him under, and they saw that, he paid the guy in the 1st floor, and the guy from the 1st floor told the guy in the 7th floor, don't you ever talk to me again, you frogging zitch. I don't want to, don't talk to me no more. Don't ever bring me no more stuff over here. You got me in trouble. I have an anxiety attack in my chest because of this. And then the guy is scary stuff. You see, I'm making it simple for you. If I start putting in the real words I want to put in, I'll blow your hair back and knock your socks off. But I'm making it gently for you guys because I'm stupid like that. Let me drink some jungle juice. I'm getting too excited. And today's Sweet Kid Kino's here today, but he's very quiet because he's watching me and he's telling me, like, look what he's doing to me, so you know what he's doing to me. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So the guy was mad, and then the guy from the 7th floor was freaking out because now they had him under surveillance. They wanted to see where it was. And he was freaking out because he wanted to know if somebody, died in that transaction. He wanted to know. That was his heart was beating too fast. He wanted to know, hey, man, if nobody died, there's no problem. I'm good then. But if somebody is, then I'm in a lot of trouble, because they're going to look for the person that did the crime. Mr. Damon, please help me out because you know my English is not the best in the world. I'm trying hard to explain to these lambones. I'm trying to keep it simple like you tell me, but I sometimes can't keep it simple, you know? So the guy, finally everything dies out, you know? Exactly, accessory to a crime. It's unbelievable. This is my sidekick too because, you know, this man knows how to speak English. Sweet Kick Kino doesn't know how to. No, Kino, no dije nada malo. No te metas, no te metas. So, you know, he was thinking I'm accessory to a crime. You know, they're gonna lock me up. They're gonna lock me up. You know, so everything died out. Everything died out. You know, el lambón se quedó tranquilo. You know, the lambón from the 7th floor, and he would go by the 1st floor and look at his friend. You know, and tell him, you know, I'm sorry. You know, get out of here. You got me in trouble. You know, because of you. Because when those people come and get you, they come and get you. They don't play around, and you give it up like a little zitch on wheels. You just give it up. Here, take it all. I don't care. He didn't even care about the money. He just wanted to get those guys out of his back. You know, get them out of my store. So the guy from the 7th floor, he had the paperwork because he put the watch, you know, in the lost and stolen database. And that saved his rear end. And this is why I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that buying a stolen watch or a lost watch is a lot of trouble, you know? Today I'm gonna tell you some names that you guys need to have in your arsenal, you know, because you guys like to deal with very, very high-end watches, and you need to have this because when you go to your, you know, local jewelry store, wherever you live at, you know, wherever you live at, you want to find out if that watch is kosher or not. And, you know, you have this app on your phone and, you know, he tells you, look, I have this Patek Nautilus white gold 5740, you know, beautiful 5740, you know, and I want to sell it. And this is, you know, this is like a $300,000 watch, $400,000 watch at one moment, and the guy is asking you for a hundred and this an example, $130,000, and you told the guy, you look, I'm interested in the watch, but let me put the watch in the database. If he tells you right there no, you know that watch is not kosher. And if he tells you yes, and you put it there, you know, you put it there, and it comes back because you have already in this database, you have, you know, you signed in, you know, and they have your name, your phone number. When you join this, you know, when you join this lost and stolen database, they have all your information. So once you put that information there and the watch comes back that it is lost or stolen, it reflects. And right there, they know that you put that serial number on that 5740 that they're looking for. And right there, it tells you, boom, hey, you say, hey, you say, Mr. Stein, you know, you say, Mr. Stein, the owner of the store, you know, Mr. Stein is telling me here in my phone that watch, you know, they're looking for it. Oh my God, for real? Yeah. Right there, there's a problem because now they're going to come and get you. And you say, no, they come and get you. You say, no problem. I went to Mr. Stein's store. I went to buy the watch, but I want to check and make sure that the watch was kosher, and it bounced back that the watch was being looked for. So now the trouble, who has it? Mr. Stein, you know? And that's how it is. But today, I'm going to show you some information that's going to help you guys a lot out. I'm going to talk to you about different lost and stolen websites that you guys can use. Is this something that interests you guys? Because a year and a half ago, I did this, and all of you went bananas asking me for websites. And I didn't, at that moment, I wasn't ready to give you all this information. But since my time is coming to an end, you know, I want to leave you this library on chapter 9, how to become a Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market dealer for free on my ticket, on my dime, you know. So I'm going to show you some websites that work with lost and stolen. And the first one I'm going to show you, ladies and gentlemen, did you guys enjoy the story? Did you guys get stressed on the story? I got kind of stressed. Kino's just there, having a brewski. He don't care, But I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you some. I'm going to show you some. So you guys have all this stuff. The first one I'm going to show you, which is a very, very powerful one. Well, I shouldn't show you that one. I'm going to show you the first one. It's called Incurus. Incurus. This is the first one. Incurus. Okay? If you want to, find out if that watch is stolen, if it's lost, you go to that website, you put in the serial number, and that'll help you out. Okay? You put that one in there, right? That's called Incurus. Muchas gracias, Alberto. Thank you, Albert. Thank you so much. You've been really, really supporting the channel. I'm already feeling that, Kino, Alberto otra vez, imagínate. Gracias, Alberto. Thank you so much, Alberto. Thank you very much. And many thanks, Alberto. Thank you so much. So that is the first one, and it's called Incurus. It's spelled Enquirus. And you go there and you look at that one, all right? And the other one is called My Stolen Watch. I'm going to show you so you have it there. Nobody's going to give you this information, Papi. What I'm doing, nobody would ever do it. You know what they say about me? They say, man, this guy has really made every single person out there that looks at watch content a dealer. I'm making you guys a dealer. I'm making you guys a dealer for free, And this is the other one. Here it is. This is the other one right there. There you go. That is the other one. My Stolen Watch. Okay? That is My Stolen Watch. And it's an unbelievable, It's called My Stolen Watch, Stolen Watch. And this one is from the United Kingdom, If you are from Europa, Inglaterra, that's from the United Kingdom. But I'm going to go beast mode on you now. I'm going to go beast mode. Beast mode. In the United States of America, we have one that is unbelievable. And this is the one that everybody uses in the United States. You ready for that one? It's this one right here. It's a beautiful one. It's called, you see it right there? You guys see it? Checkman. This one is powerful. This one is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. This one, they don't play around, This is the one that the boys from my local city of Florida use all day, every day. So you understand what I mean. The person that, that bought that watch from that thief that was in the 7th floor, this is what he used, And lucky he had this, because that saved him from going into the, to the slammer, And that is Checkmend. It's spelled CHECK, Mend, MEND. It's unbelievable. It works like a charm. Boom! Right there, So you have there that one. But the most powerful one, which is a global one, it's like it's like an Interpol, or like an Interpol, You know what Interpol is? I bet you guys don't even know what Interpol is. You know why you guys don't know? Because you guys been hopping around through life like bunny rabbits for too long. And I got to keep on showing you guys. This is the monster right here. You see that? Okay? It's unbelievable. Thank you, Alberto. Thank you, Alberto. So that one is called the Global Database of Lost, Stolen, and Counterfeit Watches. So you guys missed that part. That one there will tell you if that watch is counterfeit and everything. That one's a monster. Don't ask me how they know, but they know. Don't ask me how they know. Now, I'm going to show you something about vintage watches. You know, vintage watches. Vintage watches is unbelievable. You know, these people have their, on these database, you know, they have their, you know, watch movements, power reserve. They have, they have serial numbers, reference numbers, you know, over, I don't know how many watches they have in their database. They have their everything, case, you know, the casing, bracelets. It's unbelievable. And they call that one, it's unbelievable the hard work I do for you guys. Unbelievable, you know, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And this one here is called Emmy watch. Okay? Emmy watch. Emmy is spelled EMMY watch database. Okay? These are for those people, you know, those people that sell the Conjure, you know, Daytona, you know, with fake casing, fake dial, fake stack hands, you know. Papi, I'm number one. I've been chosen as the number one watch market update show in the world by no other than Fudinki. You know, I'm too much. You know, I'm too much. You know, it's unbelievable. There's another one that you guys have to know. This is all vintage now. They must be so mad. How can this man be telling these people all these things? I am going to tell you because I'm stupid like that. I'm stupid like that, Bobby. Bobby, this is the number one watch channel in the world, man. Chosen by no other than Fudinki. You know what's going to happen to me? Unbelievable, that's great, Kino, you know? The next one is an unbelievable. They call this one Watch Base. You know, Watch Base. And Watch Base is full details. You know, full details on any watch. Production year. Limited edition. Specs on casing. People, Bobby, I had to tell you sooner or later the truth because I want you guys to go back to the library and see this. And you say, but who is this guy, bro? Bobby, when they see me, they respect me, bro. I already explained to you. The people might not like you, but they might respect you. Two different things. You might not like me, but you respect me. Because you can't go against that. The guy is dropping knowledge. O sea, me, I'm dropping knowledge. So what can they say to me? The guy's dropping knowledge, bro. You don't understand that even the crooks, the thieves, the corrupted, they applaud me. You guys don't believe that, right? You understand me? You guys don't believe me. No, but it's going to be in the library. It's there for keeps. So when I step down and I leave, you have it all there. What would Mr. Juan Felipe Nieves and his sidekick, manager and owner of the channel, Joaquin to you, Kino to me, would say? And there it is. And I'm going to show you this one. I'm going to show you this one because you need to have it. You need to have it. You need to have it. And this one here, watch this one, boys. Here it is. You guys should be, Googling all this stuff. You should be Googling all this stuff. I'm going to get an award. I'm going to get an award from YouTube for what I'm doing, for the service that I'm doing, for the service that these people won't do. I'm giving it to you. This is my service. This is my gift to you. You guys waited for a year and a half, and you got it now. I gave it to you because, you know, I feel that my time is coming to an end. You know, this is chapter 9. Chapter 9. Now you have them all. You have them all. You have them all. Now I'm going to give you one now. This one is going to bug you guys out. You guys are going to say, you know something about Juan? You know, I had him all wrong. You know, he was like a comedian. He will make me laugh and you know, and say things, you know, catchphrases. But dude, the guy will drop knowledge. That's what you guys are going to say. Not about me. I said it wrong. All the credit is no other than Sweet Kino. The quiero como, you know. It's Kino. It's not me. It's not me. The brains and the voice is me. Okay? The voice is me. But this one, you're going to go, wow. This one is called Every Watch. Every Sell. Every auction. You understand me? Every watch, every sell, every auction. 23 organic watch channel subscribers, 18 thumbs up. That's all right. It's all right. They want to keep on getting flim flam. That's all right. And I'm going to show you this one so you have it there too. And you guys are doing fine. Here it goes. There it is. You should be Googling already. You should be, putting in the website, and locking them in. There they are. Every sale, every action. Action. I don't know, action, ¿verdad? ¿Cómo es? Action. Acción. Action, So you have there. And I'm going to even take it deeper because maybe you have your grandfather, your great-grandfather, and he has a pocket watch. I'm going to go so far to give you, another, lost and stolen database on pocket watches. Unbelievable. But I'm going to give it to you because I'm stupid like that. Okay? Here it is. Pocket watches. Another one. Yes, for you guys. Pocket watches. So now, all those people that waited, for the whole year and a half to get this, I'm dropping it right here. For free. At no cost. For free. There it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. I want you guys to have all that information. Did you enjoy the story that I told you guys? Did you guys have fun with that story? Did you enjoy it? It's a very scary story, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to be, you don't want to be in that side, Those people come and get you and they slap you around. They slap you around. Not physically, but mentally, They come and get you. But I got to give kudos to that gentleman, the one that had his watch stolen, and he was looking. Chapter 9, Papi, don't forget about it. Chapter 9. Chapter 9, for free, for free, for free, for free. For free. Because I give it to you for free. Papi, I have all these Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market channels and dealers. At 2 o'clock in the morning and at 3 o'clock in the morning, they look at my videos quiet. They look at it. And they say, how does this guy? They question me. Papi, I can give classes. I can give classes. You ready for this? I can give classes to Deputy Boxing Black Eyes. I can give classes, to the Warris Fat Bastard. You know that? I can give classes to the Hungry Hippo Mr. Magoo. You understand that? I can give classes to the fake Italian flat top monkey eyebrows. And so on and so on. Porque yo soy una jodienda. I'm a monster. Only you guys don't know it. You guys are privileged, los privilegiados, that you can see this. Unbelievable, but true. Let me have some jungle juice. Let me have the jungle juice here. Yo los tengo frustrados. They're frustrated with me, you know? You know? They have an inferior complex, or, you know, están acomplejados, you know? It's what it is. It's what it is. So I wanted you to know that. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you something else that you guys need to know. Changing the conversation before I let you guys go. You know, I talk to you always about positive things. If it's somebody that I really don't care for, but they're doing something good, I'm going to talk positive. And I'm going to talk about Hermie the English elf. Hermie the English elf has an attack with no other than, you know, that guy over there from the UK, from Barker, and the other lady, Morticia. You know, Morticia and her boyfriend, her lover, her sidekick, Papito. You know, Papito. You know, and he's throwing them under the bus. You know, that the Barker Jackie, and throwing under the bus Morticia and Papito and all that. And that's fine. That's fine that he's doing that. That's very good. But I'm going to tell you something about Hermie the English elf. He is also another hoodwink. He is also another huckster. He is also another flim-flammer and a spoof ball. You know? And I'm going to talk to you, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to explain to you this because you guys need to know about this subject. You know? You guys need to know about this subject. And if you guys don't know about it, you're going to know about it today. You know, today, you know, he's using the old giveaway trick. You know, Hermie the English elf is using the old giveaway trick. It's unbelievable, and it works like a charm. Not because he's doing it. This is old stuff that I got to keep on dropping knowledge on you guys. You're going to find out today how these people do these tricks and how they buy bots subscribers, you know? They buy robots subscribers. And he does a giveaway. And he's giving away a Snoopy watch, a Timex Snoopy watch. And he's telling all of you in a subliminal message that when he gets to 10,000 subscribers, he's going to give away that watch to a winner. And this is just a way for him to slow pace, get the 2,000, you know, robot subscribers that he's buying. You know, he's buying. He's giving you the subliminal message. This is an old trick. Everybody that he's talking about, they did the same thing. He has the same blueprints. You know, this Hermie the English elf, I can tell you this because we know. 50% are bots subscribers, 50% are organic. He wants to reach the 10,000 plateau, and he's buying 2,000 to get there. And he's doing it with a subliminal message, with a giveaway of a Timex Snoopy watch. And people there, you know, the people you pay, they put that, I want a Snoopy watch, I want a Snoopy watch, I want to put a Snoopy watch, I want a Snoopy watch. You know, those are the message, I want a Snoopy watch. And this is the way they flim-flam you and they buy those robots subscribers. Hermie, papi, yo soy una jodienda, brother. I'm a beast. Hermie, you can't fool people. You can't fool Kino, man. Kino's watching you. You know, you told him that you want. When you hit 10,000, he's going to hit 10,000. Maybe tomorrow morning, hey, stop it. Stop it already. Don't no more. You know, listen, to get a subscriber in a channel is one of the hardest things to do. This guy's getting subscribers like it's a joke. And you got to keep on doing this, you know, the giveaway, and you got to keep on doing content so you can keep on climbing, you know, that view, that clock view of subscribers. So just to let you know, all of you out there, don't fall. Don't fall. He's another huckster. You know, he's doing a good job exposing these people, but he's another huckster. He has the same blueprints. You know who has those blueprints? I have them. I have them. But I don't want to buy none of that. I don't want to buy no subscribers. I don't want to buy no likes. I don't want to buy no views. I don't want to buy no comments. But he is, because, you know, he's Hermie. Hermie the English elf. I want you guys to know that. So no sean lambones. No sean lambones. You understand me? No sean palomos. And be careful. All right, guys? Just to let you know how the trick works. This is for chapter 10. And how to become a backpack watch dealer. This is number 10. This is how you buy the robot subscribers and you give a giveaway. And supposedly people go crazy for a $200 watch. And people want to, I'll subscribe. Because the way he says it is, when you subscribe and I get to 10,000, I'll give the watch away. Papi, I'm a beast. All right? This is why I'll keep on telling you, which I don't like to, you know, do it always. I don't like to do it. But I keep on telling you guys to please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like the video. Because our channel, papi, anybody, take any platform you want. The ones that sell, you know, subscribers, likes, comments, views. They're going to tell you, bro, that guy is clean as a whistle. His numbers are for real. The only problem is that his numbers aren't locked. Okay, guys? There it is. This is, no. He missed chapter 9, but he got chapter 10. That's chapter 10. How to make fake subscribers in your channel. It's like that. It's a subliminal message. You know, you look that way, and the subscribers just come in. You know, papi, it's almost impossible to get a subscriber. You guys don't understand. Hermie the English elf, he's good what he's doing, exposing those people over there. But he has the same blueprints that the Barker, you know, Jackie Barker, you know, Morticia, Papito, you understand? The Walrus fat bastard. He has the same blueprints. But I have them too. I just don't use them. And I got to keep on teaching you. Anyway, guys, I hope you... Oh, let me just say something else too. Before I let you guys go. Which is a very important one. It's a very important one. You know, I told you guys that for 6 weeks, you know, I'm going to say 7 weeks. 7 weeks. We had the situation with the Rolex situation with China. And I want you to know that for the last, it's going to be 2 weeks already, that subject has been sealed, quiet. You know, Rolex is already making commercials on their watches. They were not making commercials, but they're making commercials already. They're making commercials. They're bringing back their influencers. They're bringing back their ambassadors. Listen and learn. They're bringing back, you know, B. Carly, you know, B. Carly, whatever her name is, you know, that girl over there, you know. They're bringing that one back. You know, they're all coming back. And ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, you know, Paco Gambino told me always, he says to me, Juan, when you don't answer to what they're asking you to answer to, it'll die away. It'll go away. Every single person has asked Rolex if they're going to make a comment on this subject. They never did. And the masses of the world, you know, are trained that way. They're trained. They respect and they don't ask no more questions. That's why Rolex es una jodienda, and that's why Rolex belongs in the round table with BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, Skull and Bones. You understand me? Opus D. You understand? Knights Templar. They're beasts. They're beasts. Nobody has talked no more. It's dead. It died out. Even if it is true that those watches are made over there in Xinjiang, you know, whatever, es silencio. You know, es silencio. You know, you guys have to watch the movie The Network so you understand what's going on, papi. You need to watch the movie The Network. El mundo está virado al revés. You know, I'm in a row right now, and if you got a couple of minutes, I'm just going to give you the last one too. You know, you want to see how bad things are. So now, ladies and gentlemen, now they are saying, following the U.S. strikes on the Iran's nuclear sites, it's believed that Iran was able to move some of its highly enriched uranium stockpile out of at least one site before the United States strikes. How you like them apples? Papi, is a business. It's a big business. It's a big business. And you and me are not in that business. And you and me are not in that club. You understand me? No, it's not about oil. It's about money, papi. Money. Trillions. Not millions, not billions, trillions. Trillions. Papi, it's an embarrassment to say something like that. That the U.S., you know, with that stealth bomber, you know, somebody help me with the name of that plane, you know? You know, it went all the way up there. And it dropped, you know, those 30,000-pound bombs. And he got one, you know, nuclear site, another one, but the third one, you know, the B2, thank you, the B2. You know what I'm trying to say? Don't get me started, ladies and gentlemen, because en esta parte yo soy una jodida también. I'm a student. I'm a student of all this. And now they're saying that. You know, they're saying that. And it's unbelievable. And then, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm going to keep on giving it to you more. You want more? I'm going to keep on giving you more. And then suddenly, you had yesterday in my city where I was born in the Bronx, Lebanon. Bronx, Lebanon, I was born in. Summer, August 22nd, 1962, I was born there. Unbelievable hospital, you know? Unbelievable. And I'm proud to say that I'm from New York and I was born there. So we had a race going on between two Democrats. Andrew Cuomo. You know who Andrew Cuomo is? He's the gentleman that when that Corona beer era was around, the Corona beer era was around. You know, the Corona beer. That guy left people in those houses, in those buildings, you know, the elderly. You know, I don't know how to say too much. You know, you guys help me out with the, you know, read between the lines. You know what I'm saying? Papi, I'm on fire. Hold me back. Kino. I'm telling you, I'm on fire. So, ladies and gentlemen, and they had this race going on, you know? And Andrew Cuomo concedes. You know, Andrew Cuomo, you know Mario Cuomo's father. You know, Mario Cuomo's father, my father, may God have him in heaven. You know, my father was a big fan of Mr. Mario Cuomo. Mario Cuomo, una jodienda. Mario was Mario Cuomo was, unbelievable. I'm talking about Mario Cuomo. I'm not talking about Alfredo, and I'm not talking about Andrew. Not Alfredo and not Andrew. So unbelievable. So Andrew Cuomo concedes. In New York City, the Democratic primary. And ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this because the world is upside down. And this is why you need to watch the movie, The Network. You need to watch it. Porque esto es una jodienda. You see, I sit down the whole morning when I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I get up every day. Every single day. To drink coffee with my wife. And I sit down. And I look at everything. And I start putting dots at 6 o'clock in the morning while I still have an eye booger. An eye booger. You know what an eye booger is? An eye booger. I'm getting it out. But I'm putting the dots everywhere. And ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe who this mashugana of Andrew Cuomo conceded to. He conceded to Zohran Mamdani. A Democrat that declares himself a socialist. And you know what he's telling the people in the Bronx? And you know what he's telling the people in Brooklyn? Manhattan, Queens, all those places, those boroughs over there, I don't know, Staten Island, all these people. He's going to give them, listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. The world's upside down. He's going to give them all free housing. Free housing. Free money. This Damon is on fire. Damon, you must get up at 5:30 in the morning. You must get at 5:30. State grocery stores for free to eat all you want. While you and me are maintaining their lifestyle. While you and me are maintaining their lifestyle, Papi. While I'm dropping knowledge here for you guys for free. Somebody has to wake you up. Even if it's only 22 organic watch channel subscribers, I need to wake you up. He's going to give him free grocery stores, welfare, welfare. My father, may God have him in heaven, living a beautiful life up there. My father never took a nickel from a welfare. Hard worker, discipline, never. And this guy, this Zohran Mamdani, Democrat, and he says it loud and clear, I'm a socialist. It's scary, guys. It's scary. It's scary. They used to have pride, Papi. They used to. That's all, guys. And let me tell you something. Maybe you guys think I'm throwing, dirt on all this. I'm not throwing dirt, Papi. I know all this already. This is what they want. But we have a tug of war. We have a tug of war with the powers of the universe. With the powers of the universe. Not the Almighty. The Almighty God, He's the biggest thing there is. Amen. A Papa Dios. Amen. I'm talking about these secret societies. They're the ones that rule the whole world, man. Can you believe that those bombs that, the government of the White House threw, 2 hit nuclear sites, and 1 they took out all their materials. They were pushing them. Get it, run, Tommy, run, hurry up. And now they're saying that next week they're going to get together to talk about the situation. What do you guys, before I let you guys go, because I got to let you guys go and relax. What do you guys believe is happening out there? Come on. Give me somebody, say something. What do you guys believe is happening out there? I can tell you, but I'm not going to tell you today. You know, I can just say this: it's a big business. It's a big business, and that's why all of you need to watch the movie The Network. You know, when the guy says, "You know what a dollar buys you today? A dollar buys you today a whole nickel, a whole nickel." Anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy this watch market update show and you learn something. I really do. I really do hope you guys learn something. We'll keep on talking about, we'll keep on talking about what's happening over there, with those two countries that I really, honestly, deeply, I feel bad what's happening with Iran and Israel. I feel bad what's happening also in our government. What happened over there in New York. Mario Cuomo lost to that this gentleman. Zoran. Does anybody know what Zoran Mamdini is from? Does anybody know what Zoran Mamdini? I'll wait to see who puts it up there. I'll wait. I want to see who is. Who is he? Who's that guy? I want to see who he is. You're welcome. You're welcome. Nobody knows who that guy is, right? Nobody knows. It's like, they come out of nowhere. Poof! They come out. Poof! They just come out of nowhere. Just put him there and that's it. And that's all. One loss, he conceded, and the nerve, I gotta be honest, the nerve, another flim flammer, the nerve of Andrew Cuomo, after he left all those elderly people, they say that around 15,000 people passed away. It's unbelievable, Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy the Watch Market Update show and you learned something. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like our video. I really mean that. I want to thank all of you who were here today with me. It means a whole lot to me. I want to thank all of you who have been supporting this channel. Not only with, the Ruby chats, whatever you call it, just being here with me is good enough, right, guys? Our channel will continue to grow, and I want your library to keep on growing. So when you need to go back and look at things, you know what's happening out there. All right, guys? Don't forget that. We also have a private group under my name, Juan Felipe Nieves. It's under, it's in Facebook, and it's under Opus and Time Watches. And you can also ask to, to see if you can, join the channel. All right, guys? Maybe Samantha and Kino will let you guys in. Like me and Sweet Kid Kino will say always, take care and brush your hair. Take care, guys. Take care. Be safe.